Hey guys, today we are making lemon garlic chicken. Today we're going to be using the Instantpot. If you don't have an Instantpot, you can also make this in the Crockpot or even on the stove top if you prefer. But today I am going to be using my Instantpot and showing you how to make it in under 30 minutes. So, before we get into it, if you are new here and you have not subscribed to my channel and you do enjoy keto and low carb recipes, please do make sure that you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time we drop a video. And at the end of this video, if you did enjoy the recipe, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, as that is a really good way of helping out my channel. And let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright guys, so here I have 4 boneless chicken breasts. You don't have to use boneless chicken breasts. You can also use chicken thighs if you prefer. It's just what I have and what I will be using. So to start, I'm going to go ahead and just cut each one in half. And just setting them aside for now. And then we'll go from there. So I'm cutting them right now into the size of chicken thighs anyway, so if you're using chicken thighs, you can just leave them as is. But if you're using large chicken breasts like this, then you definitely probably want to cut them down into smaller pieces. Okay, so now all we're going to do is we're going to season our chicken, and what I'm going to be using is just a little salt, pepper, and some paprika. So we'll just start out by giving them a little salt and pepper and paprika, and just do salt and pepper to taste. And then you'll probably need about a teaspoon or 2 to season the paprika, depending on how heavy you want to season it and if you're going to season one side or both sides. Personally, I season both sides, so it's going to be up to you. So I'll probably end up using about 2 teaspoons worth for this. And then when you're done putting the seasoning on, just go ahead and rub that in so that it helps the seasoning stick on the chicken better. And then we're going to go ahead and flip them over and do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so now let's just flip them over and repeat the process. And we'll just do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now we have all of our chicken seasoned, and we can just set those to the side and move on to the next step. Everything else is pretty much going to be done in the Instantpot now. You don't have to sear the chicken in the Instantpot. You can do it in a skillet if you want, but I figure why dirty more than one dish. So we're going to come over here to our Instantpot, and I'm going to set mine to the sear option. It's going to depend what brand you have. I have the Farberware, so you're going to put that on that, and once your Instantpot gets nice and hot, go ahead. I'm going to add in about just like a little tablespoon or so of some olive oil or any oil that you prefer. And then just add your chicken to the Instantpot. And like I said, you're not putting the chicken in here to totally cook your chicken. So it doesn't matter at all if your chicken is not cooked on the inside. You're just searing them. So searing them is basically you are just getting your chicken outside nice and crispy. Searing them makes like a little nice little crust on the outside. So you're not really worried about cooking the inside right now. So for me, I had 4 large chicken breasts, so I'm probably going to have to sear these in 2 different batches. So as you can see, my Instapot is pretty much full. So I'm going to sear these and then we'll come back. Okay, so you just want to brown them. You see how that's brown? You just want to brown them on each side, but you do want them to have a nice crust on them. Like that. Nice and browned. And then you're just going to do that with all of your chicken breasts on both sides, and then we're going to set the chicken to the side. Okay, so we've set the chicken to the side, and with the extra oil in there, and you know there's that little chicken pieces at the bottom, you know, who cares? We're going to leave that in there for flavor, and we're going to add in, I'm adding in about half of a medium-sized onion diced, and we're just going to cook that just a few minutes. And then I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Obviously, if you want to add more or less garlic, that's totally up to you. But I'm adding in 1 tablespoon for this. And once we add in the garlic, we are going to let it cook for probably about 3 or 4 more minutes, just until the garlic starts to get fragrant. Okay, so now I'm going to add in 2 cups of chicken broth. And like I said, everything else is about to just go in the Instapot, and that's it. Okay, and then we're just going to mix that around, and then we can start to add in all of our other ingredients. Except for the heavy cream, we're going to add that at the very end. You definitely don't want to add that at the very beginning. And I'm just going to place all of my chicken back into the Instapot. When we first seared them, we did do it in 2 batches because, I mean, obviously you can't sear them all if they're piled on top of each other. But for this point here, you're gonna pressure cook them. So you're cooking basically the inside of the chicken here, and it really doesn't matter if you have them on top of each other. So I am putting all the chicken back on, even if some of them have to kind of sit on top of other pieces of chicken. That's totally fine. Okay, and then just take a look at how the chicken is sitting in there. You can see how the chicken is very well seared on the outside, so please make sure you do sear them well before you do this. Alright, and then now I'm adding in the juice of 1 whole lemon. You could do half a lemon first to see, but 1 lemon for me is just perfect. You could also add in some lemon zest if you wanted to. And now for our seasonings. We're going to add in 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and here I have 1/4 teaspoon of some turmeric, and I also have a teaspoon of chicken bouillon just to give it a little extra. And the turmeric is actually optional, but I just like to put turmeric in some of my foods, and it's good for you anyways. So also we're putting in 1 teaspoon of oregano, and we have here 2 teaspoons of thyme, and 2 teaspoons of parsley. You can also just add in Italian seasoning if that's all you have. So just go ahead and add in some Italian seasoning if you prefer. Here I have half a stick of butter, and I've just cut it into little cubes so I can kind of place it on top of some pieces of chicken. Alright, and that is pretty much it, guys. We're just going to put the lid on now. Before I put the lid on, let me just show you, if you have an Instapot, you do want to make sure it is on the seal position when you put it in. This is to vent it, and this is to seal, so you definitely want to have it on the seal option. So we're going to make sure it's unsealed, and then we're going to close the lid. And like I said, the settings on every Instapot are different. For the Instapot brand Instapot, I know the settings are totally different than Farberware. I do have the Farberware, so I'm going to put mine on chicken. And we're going to set that's automatically going to set for 20 minutes, which is exactly what I need for this. So we're going to hit start. Your Instapot is going to take about 10 minutes to build up pressure, and then the clock for 20 minutes is going to start. And then once that's done, we're going to just naturally release it, and then after 10 minutes, we will release the pressure. Okay, so the timer has went off, and we have been letting it set naturally for 10 minutes before hitting the vent, before putting it on the vent option. And now we're going to put it on the vents to let all the rest of the steam out. And then once that steam stops, we can open the lid. Don't open the lid before that. And as you can see, there's still a lot of steam coming out. And then yeah, once that is done, we can take the lid off and it should be done. The only thing we need to do is add in the heavy cream. Okay, so let me just stop this for a second, open the lid. And let me just let you see what that looks like on the inside there. And we're going to take all the chicken out real quick and set it to the side. But I just want to show you how it looks. And, you know, definitely use a thermometer to make sure that they are at temperature 165 to make sure they are done. And we're just going to take them all out and set them to the side. You don't have to set them to the side, but it's just easier for me, I think, to mix in the heavy cream good without destroying the chicken. So I'm just going to remove them to the side, add in the heavy cream, give it a good mix. So I'm just going to go ahead and set them to the side to make things a little bit easier. Alright, and I'm just going to add in some heavy cream here, and that's what's going to make this sauce nice and creamy. We're going to add in 2 cups of heavy cream. And there is 1 cup, and it looks like I just ran out of heavy cream, so let me grab my other one from the fridge real quick. Alright, and here is the other one, and we got 2 cups now. And you can definitely double up and make extra sauce. I do that sometimes and put the extra sauce in the freezer. And the next time you have chicken, just pour it on top, or, you know, whatever you want to put it on. It's a good, you know, sauce. So you don't have to make it just like this. But feel free to make extra sauce and stick it in your freezer. It'll be good in your freezer for quite a few months. And, you know, the next time you cook some regular chicken, you know, put it on top. That's what we do sometimes. So we're just going to give it a good mix, and we just want it to sit in the Instapot for, you know, just a few minutes, you know, on heat. So we're going to put the heat back on, just like I said, just to kind of give it a chance to thicken up the sauce. And one last thing we're going to do is we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. It is optional. I just like the sauce a little more thick, so I am putting in 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. If you don't want your sauce thick, then you want your sauce to be runny, then that's fine. You don't have to add in the xanthan gum. And then we're just going to give it a good mix until that xanthan gum is all dissolved. Alright, and we're just going to place our chicken back in there just to kind of sit in the sauce. And plus you want to make sure that you keep your chicken warm. Alright, now I'm just going to put the lid on just to kind of let it warm up for a few minutes. Alright, and it's been just a few minutes, and now we are ready. So let's take this out and see what it looks like. Now you can see the sauce is nice and creamy, and that's pretty much it, guys. So with this meal, for your non-keto family members, you can make them some white rice, serve it on top of some white rice. For you keto, and you know, when you're doing keto, you can do it. I eat it with cauliflower rice or whatever you prefer, or you can eat it just like that. So with this, we're gonna have some cauliflower rice and some broccoli. So, and even your non-keto family is gonna love this sauce. So this does not have to be something only you eat. You can make this for your entire family. Okay, so I went ahead and put the chicken on the plate, and I put the sauce in a Tupperware because I know that if there's sauce left over, it's going to be put in the fridge and getting eaten the next day. So, yeah, so just make sure it's mixed in well, and we're just going to let it sit to thicken up some. Sometimes it might take 15 to 20 minutes to thicken up. And yeah, so we're just gonna thicken it up a little bit, and we have let it sit for a little while, so it's thickened up some, so that's fine with me. And we've already plated the chicken, so now let's go ahead and pour the sauce on top. And there you go, guys. This is what it looks like. I don't know about you, but I love sauces, and the sauce looks so good and it tastes good. So definitely give this a try. And if you want to go on a further step with plating the chicken, go ahead and garnish it with some fresh parsley, and you are ready to go. So again, if you enjoyed this recipe, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you make this recipe, let me know in the comments section what you thought, and I will see you on the next video.